On the show today, the Sixers win again. Are you kidding me? Beat the Raptors to go to 6-3 with optional defense and Trendon Watford looking like the fully realized version of Ben Simmons. Paul George and Dominic Barlow still not playing, still meeting with their doctors. Meow Mix decides to cancel the return as we keep our eyes on the Carolina Panthers podcast, who quit, fucking quitters. And Yaron Weitzman, who once wrote a book that has a whole chapter in the book dedicated to the Ricky, writes another book, this time about LeBron and the Lakers, called A Hollywood Ending. Yaron will join us as well. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS. And brought to you by LL Pavorsky Jewelers, who are Rights to Ricky Sanchez listeners. Go and get engaged. Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of the process, at 302-864-8643. And Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka, the official canned cocktail of the Ricky. As it looks like the Sixers are going to be good, this fucking trip to New Orleans could be even better for Fly the Process. I think our 8th Fly the Process, not including the Bust the Process ones. We're going to New Orleans in February 20th to February 23rd. Fans of Philly handles everything for you: your flight, your hotel, the t-shirt you get, your tickets to the game, the pregame party, which is all inclusive. We'll have a great time in New Orleans. Go to rightstoRickySanchez.com/fly. If you need a custom trip, like if you already live in New Orleans or if you're flying from somewhere else, send an email to Joe over at Fans of Philly at joe@fansofphilly.com. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka is the perfect canned cocktail. It's perfect because many of these, they're too sweet for me. But Surfside, not too sweet. It's just the right amount of sweetness. And there's several different varieties depending on what you like best. Would you like the iced tea and vodka? There it is. Lemonade and vodka? There it is. Maybe a green tea, maybe a raspberry tea, maybe a peach tea, maybe a strawberry lemonade. The options are endless, and they're all good. And they all look cool in your hand because the logo is pretty fucking cool. 2 grams of sugar, 100 calories in each of them. No bubbles because iced tea or lemonade should not be carbonated. Go get it wherever you get your canned cocktails, or you can go to drinksurfside.com. Got to be 21. Please enjoy it responsibly. Without any further ado, Amos and the Chef.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. Say the name.
Welcome to the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. I'm Spike Eskin, along with a guy who's meeting with his surgeon this week to determine his availability. That is one Mike Levin.
I just like meeting with doctors.
Yeah, why not?
It's just maybe Dominic Barlow and Paul George just are having a really good friendship with all of their doctors.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's it. Maybe they just enjoy the process, of getting healthy. The Trendon Watford game. I think we could call that one the Trendon Watford game. That was the Trendon Watford that was promised, like when we heard about him and his abilities, I think very few of us watched a ton of Trendon Watford coming in here, but the idea that he could be a secondary or even primary ball handler, that he was a good passer, good offensive player, it was all on display on Saturday night. It was a pretty fun watch, having a connective guy out there in historically a Sixers team that is really horrible at passing, having just an extra guy out there who's good at passing.
Yeah, I mean, it always feels, anytime you get a new guy that's like, wait, this is a guy. Like anytime your first time seeing him do something, you're very excited about it. Watford's a good player, man. He was really good at LSU. He was a 5-star prospect coming out of Alabama. Him and Maxey the same year. I think that's probably why they're friends. They're both 5 stars. Maxey goes to Kentucky, Watford goes to LSU, and you can tell the synergy that they have together on the court. They can run both ends of a dribble handoff. Watford does the Embiid between the legs dribble handoff to Maxey for 3, and Embiid loved that shit. He ran out of the bench with a big smile on his face because he used his move. I mean, Watford's cutting baseline off a Maxey drive, found him for a layup. Like, it's just, I think across the board there's a lot of connectivity there, and for, like you said, like a Sixers team that has been so disconnected, not only last year but in different times, you just sort of feel like they're missing people. Like, it really feels like there's connectivity. And Watford, I mean, I said it last podcast, he's not athletic. He's not.
No.
But he can rebound. He rises up for rebounds and can elevate for them and high point them, and he times them well. And he just uses his body really well off the dribble. I mean, finished around the rim on layups. He's not going to be an above the rim athlete, like as far as that goes. But
does he get an and one every time he scores a layup? It
he
seems
really
like it.
uses his body so well at like getting the contact and then staying balanced. He's a thick dude.
Yeah.
I love how hard he's going to the basket, creating space with his body, getting the bump. And he does it off of 2 feet always. That's why he always gives him a shot. And he really is like, I posted on Blue Sky that he's like if Ben Simmons was normal, and that is like both how taking it to mean like, yes, he's not special in the way that Simmons was special, but he was also normal at the normal stuff. Like if he's wide open for 3, like he'll take that 3, and if like there's a lane to the basket, he will take a lane to the basket. He's not shy away from that. So, and they were working him to post-ups for a second, which I think is going to generate good offense. His first like 3 minutes in the starting lineup, it was like a show of what he can do and how he can be useful. And with all the shooty guards out there that they're going to have, and how willing everybody else is, having him be able to like, do the Ben thing, which drive in, spray it around, like
pass it.
Yeah, it's just nice to see him. He's like good at finding those. He's good at like cutting middle with the ball and like making the defense all turn to him, and then somebody's on the opposite wing, and then somebody's cutting from opposite wing back door, and so he's got those 2 options, and I think he's good at making the defense, doing a little no look action, a little misdirection to get the shot off that he wants. And he's just a good player. And he's 25. He turns 25 today.
Well, and this version of the Sixers is at their best when nobody's holding on to the ball too long. Mm-hmm. And he I think that goes for him too, because at his like is a little frustrating. You talk about the post ups, is like holds on to it maybe a little too much. I think everybody can be guilty of that a little bit, but he is, as I said at the top, a connector guy that moves the ball when he should. And the Sixers have had too few players like this, so much so that when you see one like a Batum or something like that, you appreciate them so much more. So he was really good. I also on the top, because it seemed like there was a little bit of consternation about it. I'm totally fine with the play Jared McCain in the second half of the back-to-back rather than the first. If they're not going to play him in back-to-backs, and they went into it sort of trying to get a feel as to whether they were going to need him or not, or so on and so forth. I don't have any, if they're not going to play him in back-to-backs, I have no problem with them using him to sort of spell those guys in the second half of the back-to-back rather than playing last night.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think it was sort of, it's an interesting tactic being like, we're going to see if we need you tonight. And I wonder how Jared felt about that.
Yeah.
And eventually he will play back-to-backs and he'll be normal and everything. But I mean, the question is, Nick answered the minutes question the other day after the Cleveland game when people were a little upset that they played those guys that many minutes, even though they were down a pretty decent amount.
Yep.
And Nick is coming at it from the position, and I don't know that I think it's an honorable way to think, where he's like, we are still deep in the hole from last year. I think there's the shame and embarrassment that everybody felt by how bad last year went. And they just have to dig themselves out. There's like a not again motherfucker style that he's trying to set the tone for playing hard every night, and I totally which I like so much. Yeah. And I understand it, and I think that's the mindset to have. I just wouldn't let the answer to that mindset be play everyone until their legs fall off in an early season game on a back-to-back.
Yeah.
I just don't think that that's like the right. You got to be able to you got to be able to set your tone where everybody can bring that to the table, and it doesn't require Maxey playing 43 minutes. And you know, 3 of the 4 league leaders in minutes are Sixers right now. So that's a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I hope he has a reputation of doing this anyway.
Yes.
Yes. One would, and I think one thing that we have to give him a little grace with is he's like, we've mentioned this, that we like that he's trying different lineups and trying different things, and maybe he tries something that works and maybe he tries something that doesn't. And maybe he looks back on the Cleveland thing and says, you know what? That was probably the wrong thing, and maybe he looks for. But I do think it's admirable. And there was a little moment in that game. Now Cleveland it looked like they were just going to win when they decided to in that game. There was a little moment with maybe 4 minutes left where they cut it to 7 or something, and I said that's a good look. I get it. I agree with you largely on this, but it's also a good look to show, hey guys, like we're not in the position to just say, oh, we can let this game fade away. But I agree with you. I understand what he's trying to do. So.
I am hoping that sort of goes away naturally when McCain is a full-time player and Paul George and Dominic Barlow get back, because you can see he thinks he wants to play Justin Edwards, but he gets very nervous. It's a quick hook for Justin Edwards. Jabari Walker's in there for 5 minutes. And then one of the backup centers he'll just sort of ping pong between. But like Embiid, Maxey, Edgecombe, Oubre, Watford, Grimes, one of the backup centers, and then McCain, Paul George, and probably Barlow are the people that Nick trusts.
Yeah.
And I hope that some of that will get sorted naturally and the minutes will go down from there. But Maxey's very good. He was a plus 21 last night, and they were a minus 11 in the 5 minutes without him. So it's like, I understand it. We just got to find a way to, similar to those Embiid things, those years.
Well,
we got to find a way to work around it.
To your point, hopefully that McCain is a part of a solution to that moving forward. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by LL Pavorsky Jewelers, who is a solution for your problem in that you don't know who to go for an engagement ring.
Yes.
It's LL. Now, there's no way you could listen to this podcast and not know it's LL, but there's a lot of new people this year. You know what? People that checked out last year, they're like, who the fuck is LL? Well, LL is the guy, the first advertiser in the history of the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast, a part of the pod, goes on all the trips, sells everybody their engagement rings, responsible for love. He's the love doctor. If you've been to a different jeweler and you walked away thinking to yourself, wow, that was kind of icky and he's pressuring me and trying to get me to spend what I didn't want to spend. It's the opposite with LL. It's no pressure at all. Just a great guy selling you a great ring and doing so in a way that makes you feel comfortable and happy at the end of it. Get so many emails from LL Pavorsky customers, up to almost 500 Rights to Ricky Sanchez listeners have purchased engagement rings from LL. They identify themselves by their numbers. Kind of weird, almost like a prisoner or something, but still, shows a respect to LL. He does everything by appointment, so he can make sure to get all of the, everything that you're looking for before you get in there. That way he can have everything set up for you. You can do so, get an appointment by calling 215-627-2252, or just send him an email, lee@llpavorsky.com. Been at that same spot at 707 Walnut for over 3 decades. Can do it all online if you want to, too. Zoom, whatever. You don't like leaving your house, doesn't matter. He could take care of you there. He's also a supporter of our charities. That is Mama T's Community Fridge and Providence Animal Center. Speaking of Mama T's Community Fridge, with all the craziness going on around SNAP right now, places like Mama T's even more important. So we thank Mama T's Community Fridge for doing so.
Absolutely.
And thank LL for being a part of our support for that as well. I mentioned how to get in touch with him. LL Pavorsky Jewelers. No
pressure from LL because he saves the pressure for the diamonds.
There you go. Okay. You were talking about Maxey. I was noticing last night that Maxey has gotten so good that he'll put up numbers like this and be so good, and I just kind of don't even notice it by the end of the game. I think it was Michael Jordan who said once that scoring 32 points was easy because all he had to do was score 8 points a quarter, which makes it sound not that hard, when you're thinking about it. But then you're like, well, if it was that easy. But that's sort of the zone that Maxey's in right now, where he's just fucking piling up these ridiculous numbers, like Luka-like, Iverson-like numbers. I think the only guys to, in the first 9 games of the year, have 25 and 5 in every game. him too. It's wild watching him because I think at this point I'm sort of taking him for granted. His regular games, which last night was.
Yeah, AU posted something like that where it's like he's in the Embiid zone of like, oh, he's not really having that impactful of a game, and you look up and it's like, oh, 31, 7, and 4 on really good percent numbers. Like, oh, I guess that's just what he does now. He's unbelievable. He's become such a. I think the growth of his game is the thing that is most impressive to me. Last play of the half, he takes his time. There's like 9 seconds left or so. He takes his time. He uses like a little little change of pace. Ends up doing a nice like extending pass Mamu for the crafty scoop finish. Like in the past, he was just like, I'm either going forward or I'm going backwards for a step back. And he was very good at that. But I feel like this year he's really added that middle game, that hezzy, that like confuse you, like have you keep you off balance type of stuff. And another similar hesitation head fake to get to the rim late. He's just great. I love when he's cutting off ball, which he did a couple times backdoor off Watford. That's going to be helpful once McCain gets back, and they are using Edgecombe as a ball handler, and Paul George I'm sure will do some of that as well. So like Maxey working off the ball is great. I also love, so Emmanuel Quickley is his guy. They both were the guard rotation at Kentucky.
He'll never miss a shot against us.
He never has missed a shot. I really like Quickley. I always have. He's maybe got overpaid to be this, but like he can shoot the fucking shit out of the ball.
Yeah.
He got really hot from 3 early, and on Tyrese, and I was like, it's kind of weird that he's letting his guy do this. And then he blocked him at the rim later and like let him know about it. Kind of stood over him for a second, which every time there's any like friends or like talking shit to each other on the court, I'm always worried that the ref is gonna like misinterpret it and feel like they have to get in between it or something like that. So I'm glad. I want to give credit to a ref for not calling a technical attack on Maxey, like looming over him after that. But Maxey's just great, man. He's just great. He's just really like, he's become so much better every season. If you had asked me, is he going to get to be this good? He's just surpassed it each time.
Every
single time.
By far, not by a little, by far.
Totally. He's a full player. On the ball, off the ball, every level, defense, shooting, getting his own shot, getting looks to others. Leadership, of course. Like he's become incredible. He's unbelievable. And as you know, the two timelines thing like sort of happened naturally because of how bad the Sixers were last year, and you start to think like, all right, well, to what end? And Maxey becomes the most expensive and best person to trade, but I don't think you could trade him. I think I don't think you have to pick between him and McCain or something like that.
No.
I think it's you just like let it play out and see what you have. But Maxey as a culture setter and as a like 5-tool player that he has turned himself into, I don't want to put a ceiling on this guy. I don't want to if he's like a more team. A more fitty Dame Lillard.
Yeah, see, here's the thing.
Yes. Tell me. Slow me down.
No. Is that's the dangerous comp, because you get worried that that there was a ceiling on a Dame Lillard team. And I think that we're sort of on the edge of Dame Lillard, so I think to an extent we're forgetting how awesome Dame Lillard was. Like,
sure.
Dame Lillard was fucking awesome.
But I think that's what Maxey has become.
No. I agree. I just like I hope that the limit on Dame Lillard was just the team around him, and not that you're giving a player of his ilk the ball that much. Do you see what I'm saying?
I totally see. I think it's totally fair to bring up. I think the difference between Maxey and guys like Dame, Trae Young, Kyrie to an extent, like Max, they're all good. They're all better at different things. All those guys. I would say Maxey is the best defender out of all of them, and profiles to be even better as his career goes on. But whereas Dame was like, you got to just give me the ball and everybody get out of the way, Maxey is so much more capable of playing in off-ball situations and getting the ball out of his hands quicker. and he's such a demon in transition that the other guys just kind of aren't. And like Trey's a better passer. He's better. Like he's more. He can manipulate everything more. Like of course those kinds of things. But I think those types of teams, perhaps because Maxey didn't come up and was labeled like you're the guy, the offense is you from like his second year. He fits more into a team concept and doesn't have to be like number one on the call sheet. Like I'm the engine of every single play type stuff.
Yeah, maybe it was helpful that he started here when Embiid was the guy or whatever. I agree. That's certainly he's been great.
Just starting to lay out really nicely for maybe it's this season. Who knows? Who knows who's healthy? Who knows what Paul George looks like when he gets back? If McCain like can become hit the heights that we thought he possibly could be last year. If there's enough like rebounding, although we should mention Trendon Watford 17 rebounds is like a really, really good sign. Like when's the last time somebody just came out of the blue and was like, hey, I'll just go take care of business over here.
Well, especially if Joel is going to be a 5 rebounding game.
Especially if Joel's not going to go for it. There's a couple nice Joel moments we'll talk about in a second. But I just think because of how much better Maxey has become, how immediately good VJ is in different kinds of ways, plus McCain, whatever you get from him, it's really just starting to lay out nicely that this team is going to be like, there's not going to be a cliff. We hit the cliff last year and it sucked, but they benefited from it long term because we have VJ now. And who knows where they get to this year, obviously, but it's hard not to feel really good about being a Sixers fan right now.
At the moment,
At the moment, it is hard not to. But let's talk about Embiid.
Well, he's looked better every game, and they, I thought it was, we had talked about the long time that he sat in the Bulls game between his third quarter run and his fourth quarter one. And it seems like what they did this time was they sort of split up his fourth quarter to, a few minutes at the beginning and a few minutes at the end. And he was on a bike, a stationary bike the whole time to stay warm. And I thought look, they won, so you feel better about it. But he didn't look cold when he came back in the game. And he's just, I think he's moving better every single game. I think, part of when you're watching the Sixers, you realize that there's a lot of open threes for the other team. And part of that is him, for sure. Mm-hmm. But also offensively, he's almost fucking there, man. And he is looking like the 2 years ago Embiid, where he's having fun making great passes and moving the ball quickly. And he's sort of getting that feel now where he can get fouled whenever he wants. And I know everybody hates it, but it's fucking helpful. And I don't know what the numbers say, but it feels like he is shooting threes at a rate that he hasn't before, and it has increased that. I don't know. He's looked better every game, and he was good last night. He's averaging almost a point a minute again. I'm optimistic there. I'm cautiously optimistic on Joel so far.
Yeah. I think they're still figuring out the minute stuff. I liked that they brought him in for the early fourth and then sat him for the middle and brought him back for the late. That seems like a nice way to distribute that. Yeah. I thought it was, so Toronto, Jakob Poeltl out. They mostly played Scotty Barnes on him in the post, and I think that's was a gift for Joel because
trying to front him the whole time.
Well, I think it's just like he hasn't done that I'm going to get inside, I'm going to be a load stuff yet this year, and I think probably sometimes when you're standing behind the 3-point line, it can become a little bit like a force field, and you're like, well, I'm supposed to be here, and you have to will yourself to get in there and really make your presence felt. And obviously, when Joel's at his best, that's what he's doing. He's capable of doing both. And I think Joel I think he likes Scotty, but was probably a little bit insulted that they had kind of a guard on him. Obviously, Scotty's a big position, just not a center. And so he just went inside on him more. He was more quick, got decisive, had a really nice steal on Mamu that he very came close to dunking on before at the last second, not really trusting his elevation.
Yeah.
He sealed Scotty a couple times. I thought he had a nice rhythm and fluidity to his game. The entry passes on those seals were great. And for a team that has not made those passes for many years and having a tough time getting it to him, was nice to see. A couple offensive rebounds and putbacks I thought was nice. He blocked Scotty. He was blocked by Scotty at the rim a couple times. He doesn't trust his burst vertically, but you can see it starting to come back timing-wise defensively. He got a fingertip on a Grady Dick finish at the rim, and it's just kind of little by little getting there. And then you mentioned like the passing. The passing is fun. He's having fun with it. Behind the head to Maxey for 3, behind the back to Grimes, bounce pass down the lane for Maxey, over the head pass to Justin Edwards in the opposite corner for 3.
I think the behind the head was to Edgecombe for 3, but
okay.
Yeah. But
well, he'd won to Justin Edwards.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, it was Edwards. It was Edwards.
There was a different one to Maxey where it was not like opposite corner.
Okay.
That one was crazy.
Okay. Yeah.
Going post up on one corner, behind the head to the weak side corner it's a crazy pass. I mean, it's a little bit him being like, stop fucking around, but he does love to do that shit. And then it's just like, blindside doubles. Toronto always seems to come with those. Any team with those kinds of like big wings always seems to like confuse him when he's trying to do like dribble handoffs at the top of the key, and he's just like waiting a beat too long, and all of a sudden his pocket gets picked. But it's good. I mean, it's good to see him be good. It's really good to see him be good.
The Rights Ricky Sanchez podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. So Sixers are playing again tonight. If you're listening to this on Monday, we were doing this on Sunday morning. Sixers are 4.5-point home dogs to the Pistons. Now with Embiid not playing tonight, second night of a back-to-back. I don't know. I take a little disrespect. Little disrespect there, 4.5-point home dogs, even without Embiid.
The East leading Detroit Pistons.
Yes. But the Sixers, I think, are only a game behind them.
Yeah.
Half game behind them, something like this. I actually want to see, let's see, Maxey. The over-under on Maxey points is 30.
Automatic.
Might be a nice place to go. Wow, look at our boy Kelly Oubre. The over-under on Oubre points is 18. Ooh,
all right, we got to talk about Kelly.
And then I want to see Kelly threes. What is Kelly threes? The over-under on Oubre threes is 2. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Might have 41 minutes from Oubre tonight. If you are a new customer, you bet $5, you get 3 months of League Pass for free if you sign up with our code RTRS at DraftKings Sportsbook. Plus, you get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. There you go. Eagles line for Monday night, I think is down to 1. Eagles are now +1s to opened up at 2.5, I think. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code RTRS. That is code RTRS. Bet $5, get 3 months of League Pass plus $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Again, that is code RTRS in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Got to be 21. See show notes for details. I think we can agree on this. Daryl, you're not allowed to trade Oubre to get under the tax.
Yeah, that'd be tough. That'd be tough for me to handle.
Yes, if you decide at the deadline there's something that makes the team better, we can discuss it.
I just hard to imagine that would be Oubre.
Yes, it would be a very tough look.
Yeah, for
you to trade Oubre to get under the tax.
That's right.
He is the optimized version of himself.
Yes.
I've never seen him so in control on drives.
He's shooting 100% on drives. He is succeeding 100% of the time on drives. And he picks his spots. I love the way he does it. He's never going too fast. He's never going too fast, which is very much contrasted with Grimes, which we'll talk about in a second. He just gets to his spot, he elevates, and he sort of just like massages it in. He's unbelievable. He split the defense and finished with his right in this game with English, with his right hand. Didn't know he knew how to do that. And another time he goes right into the defender's chest. He just sort of like can burst in there, man. He's unbelievable. He's playing great basketball. And again, every single game he will draw an offensive foul on a screen. Every single game. Every single one. 2 great dunks. And I'm convinced he just learned this year how much stronger he is than everybody else because he is... Offensively, I say it every single pod, he physically uses his strength to create separation on those drives. And I think it's why he's been so much more efficient on them. And brother, he looked great in that black jersey. Oh yeah, come on, man. He looked the best out of the whole team. So good. Yeah, he's the best looking guy I ever saw. In my Unbelievable. Whole life. And you mean, and I know you're anti black jerseys.
Well, I'm not anti. It's just like it's nostalgia. They don't actually look
Which
cool.
is fine. The court
Yes.
looked beautiful. I thought the
Yeah.
jerseys were really great. Maxey looked so cool in them. VJ looks cool in everything. Oubre looked unbelievable. It was cool to see Embiid wearing it, man. It was just cool to see, like, there's, it's nice when they connect the eras in different kinds of ways like that.
Speaking of connecting the eras, did you see this? Who rung the bell last night?
Yes.
Video of who rung the bell. Here he is, hip hop ringing the bell.
Back when there was, I guess it would have been Liberty Ballers, like early, when you could be like, hey, we made a shirt and we can sell it.
Yes.
We made a hip hop is dead shirt. This would have been like, because this last year was, I think, 2011 or something like that, 2012. And I think my buddy Shane designed it, and we sold shirts. So somebody out there still has a Liberty Ballers hip hop is dead shirt out
There he
there
is.
about this young man.
Ringing the bell.
Really bad swing. He was so tentative, and it's a little bit the Michael Rubin throwing a baseball of bell ringings.
Well, and Franklin. Do we think Franklin's really happy with his return of hip hop, or
I think he is.
he
You
looking
gotta-
over his shoulder?
I think he's happy with it. I don't think that hip hop is such of an era. I think there it is. Wow, CJ found it.
Wow,
Unbelievable.
what a design!
This shit
You guys went
is
all out.
Something.
You like it?
Oh God.
CJ, you were like 9 years old. Let us have it.
He actually probably was, which is crazy. 9 years old.
Let's talk about VJ really quick.
Yes.
Obviously,
Because we got to get to Meow Mix before your own.
we got to get some Meow Mix. Very important. People need the Meow Mix update.
Yes.
He's obviously been He's had his trickiest shooting games of his career so far.
Yeah.
But I've just loved it. I love the whole experience. I really do. A ton of drive and kick. I love how much his rim pressure opens up things for teammates.
Just great passing.
Incredible passing, vision, balance, poise for a guy that just did not get to show this much at Baylor. I understand why he says he does not like college basketball if he was capable of doing this. And they were like, just don't do that. You're not allowed. Toronto was playing up with their pressure, trying to, assert their will, but that meant the lane was more open. So once VJ blew by Grady Dick, he just went right at the rim for a dunk. Loved it. Some off-ball steals. He finished with 3. Got an alley-oop from Maxey in transition, running the wing. I love it. I mean, I love when he rises up for rebounds. Like, enough of this shit. Like, we're not going to let that happen. That's very the Josh Hart antidote. I'm very happy to see it. And then in the fourth quarter, like I think he barely scored, barely even took that many shots.
I think
in the
6 straight in the fourth.
He
Something
had
like
6
that?
straight in the fourth,
Yeah.
3 plays very close together when Nurse was letting him run offense. Had 1 attack off the catch and transition, and that was, I think, Watford's 10th assist. And he changed direction so fast it looked like Bijan Robinson. Like, I was just unbelievable that like other people on the court were still moving. And then one time waved off teammates into like an ISO mid-range pull-up. That's a big shot. That's big for his development. And then he was looking for Maxey in the dribble handoff. Toronto was overplaying it, and he just drove and got a layup. And it was just like those plays won them the game, or at least kept them ahead. And that's so much confidence and poise and trust for the teammates to have in him. For a guy that is a rookie and also was not playing that well offensively, or at least shooting that well, he's incredible. He's unbelievable.
And there seems to be a little bit of consternation lately of him, like them not involving him or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's exactly where he should be right now. Like, he should be letting the game come to him. And it seems like other teams a little bit have realized that the handle's not there yet, and it seems like they pressure him a little bit when he brings the ball up. And
Good.
The rest of the league will get a book on him now, realize what his weaknesses are, and he'll have to fight through it. And I think that's part of this. But like, this game was a perfect example of him staying engaged even when he's not hitting shots, he's not super involved in the offense, and it came through in the fourth. He's a great rebounder for a guard, and the passes. I mean, he is a legitimately good passer. He's a legitimately good passer. So.
Yeah, just very capable, very like simple stuff. Those 5 guys, the starters from last night, plus Grimes, plus McCain and Paul George, like, that's a lot of people that can do a lot of stuff. It really feels like kind of an embarrassment of riches when the Sixers last year were just an embarrassment.
Just an embarrassment. There
Just
it is.
regular embarrassment.
There it is. That's a T-shirt. And from an embarrassment to an embarrassment of riches.
Not a good Grimes game, I don't think. He hit shots and these shots off the catch, but it's really, really bad game for his drives. Was pretty much a walking turnover in the first half. It says 3 turnovers, felt like 8.
He's kind of annoying to watch when he's like that. I have to be honest.
I totally agree. Everything was going wrong when he touched the ball.
Yeah.
And then he hits back-to-back threes off the catch, and you're like, he just really has to slow himself down a bit. He just has to slow himself down. Oubre, as we mentioned, is like an example of you can get to your spots without getting yourself sped up, and he just has to slow down a little bit. Honestly, like he is going too fast, and he is like it's hurting him. And then I just wanted to say, Toronto starting 10 of 12 from 3, and the Sixers winning this game is like one of the best signs in human history that like there's something here. Like the Sixers never happens.
Toronto scored 45 in the first quarter.
They had 43 in the first quarter, and then
43, yeah.
And then it's like it was amazing that the Sixers were up at half. It was absolutely unbelievable that they were up at half. And Colin Murray-Boyles is good though.
And it does sort of point to the Nick Nurse, like we're never giving up sort of thing. You know, maybe they're all, together there. Maybe it's not as cut and dry. 2 things before we get to your own. First of all, Paul George meeting with his doctors to determine the next course of action, even though
I love a meeting.
He's been playing, he's been practicing fully for 3.5 weeks now. I'm just saying there is a little bit of something weird here. And I
think the thing that's weird is he's 30. Is he's 35 and the Sixers are playing well without him. So it's like, let's just take your time. Let's make sure.
There's something weird. Not that there's something wrong with him physically, but what do you think the chances are Paul George is on the Sixers at the end of the season?
I think pretty high.
What percentage?
80.
I think it's closer to 50.
I just don't know what the idea that you would trade Paul George and stuff to get out of him, like and a pick or 2, that would kill me. I would be incredibly frustrated by that. You have to wait until he's an expiring contract to move him for nothing. I think like maybe they go do the Godfather offer for like Lauri Markkanen, but that would probably require Jared McCain.
Yes.
And maybe picks to get off of Paul George too. I don't know. I think Paul George. I think the problems with the Sixers right now, which are like defense and occasionally
shooting,
a big that can shoot, is like just perfectly solved by Paul George. Like he fits right into what they need to do and what needs to happen. And I think him and Embiid with Maxey and McCain running around like shooting everything. I think it's just him and Watford are going to be nice together. I understand everyone being frustrated by the Paul George experience. I mean, he has many years of proving people that he is frustrated. He is a frustrating, if at times excellent player, but he's what they need right now, like exactly what they need.
And Dominic Barlow meeting with his surgeon. The pictures emerged
Poor guy, man.
Of him and his giant fucking brace.
Yeah.
So apparently what had happened was because the laceration, which nobody seems to have... Do you remember even when it happened? I don't even remember when it happened.
No, I never saw the play.
Like in the game. I don't think anybody saw it happen. It makes me wonder if it happened somewhere in the fucking building and not on the court. In any case. Well, no, like if you walk around...
like a weird, like not baby-proofed.
Well, no, you've been,
corner.
Back in the back, like annals of the Xfinity Mobile Arena. There's stuff everywhere.
I put the stuff in Brian Colangelo's office.
Right.
I was back there engineering stuff in there.
That was you. Yeah.
That was me.
He has this giant brace. You can put it up on the screen there. He's meeting with his surgeons, but apparently it's because of where the cut was. If he moved his elbow, it was going to prevent it from healing, fall off.
Fall clean off.
We fucking I would love to have Barlow back.
I know.
I feel bad for him because he's a Sixer and this would only happen to him
I know.
as a Sixer.
It's poor guy. He's on two-way. He's playing like the best basketball of his life. Like it's all clicking, and then now this. I just feel really bad for the guy. You called out Embiid shooting threes at the highest clip of his career per 36. Last year was his highest at 4.8 threes per 36. Obviously, only 19 games. This year, through 6 games, he is at 7.2 threes per 36.
So the math adds up.
Yeah, which is not surprising on the level of like he hasn't been fully comfortable with contact, and also you kind of want him to do that because there's other guys that need to get a piece of the lane, and so he's got to get the fuck out of the way sometime.
And before we get to your own, we've been following the story of Meow, the Carolina Panthers podcast that quit because the team was too bad to spend time with their families. The Carolina Panthers,
our rivals.
Yes, fuck them.
We haven't had a rival podcast in a while, and I don't know if they know who we are, but we
know who they are.
Generating a lot of content off of your Meow Mix bullshit.
Yeah, so you quitters, and then the team went and was good, and they decided to come back. Jonathan Stewart said, "Don't come back," and one of their offensive linemen said, "Don't come back." And here's a quote from Meow Mix. "Even though we planned to record last week before the results against Green Bay, we won't be recording due to overwhelming response from former players. We were just a small, fun podcast since 2019 and needed a break from all the time we spent putting the show on. Hashtag keep pounding."
Hashtag keep pounding in that. And that is so funny. We were small. We were just excited. No,
get out of here.
Stay on that side. And then Jonathan Stewart responding, former Panthers running back Jonathan Stewart responding, "Thank you for understanding," is so funny. It's so funny. It's like saying like, "Hey, sorry, we aren't able to accommodate this like group event at the Panthers facility. Thank you for understanding. We ended up playing in the playoffs and we didn't think." Instead, it's like, don't do your fucking podcast because we're playing well. Don't you fucking do it. And Jonathan Stewart like cheerily being like, "Thank you for understanding." Unreal. That's so funny. They got bullied out of doing it. Yeah. They got bullied out of doing it, man. If they were real, they would turn heel on the team entirely and start rooting for another team.
Yep. Before we get to your own, Adam Ksebe is the official realtor of the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. You know, when I talk about Shore House, so Ksebe out of Long and Foster in Bethany Beach has you covered if you need a house, a shore house in Delaware beaches or Maryland, and actually Jersey, since he can't do it himself, but he has plenty of people in Jersey that can help you. I always talk about the summer, going down the shore down the summer. But if you have your own shore house during the fall and the winter, man, you want to get away. A lot of people can work from home on Fridays or Mondays now, get away for a few days. Quiet shore town, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Imagine that. And imagine the people that you're renting it to for most of the summer are paying your mortgage. And imagine because it's in Delaware, your property taxes are like $1,500 a year compared to like 13 grand in Jersey. It's unbelievable. And there's nobody like Ksebe. He is the guy. He is the guy that knows about the house, knows every street, knows going to help you bid the right way so you could have a better chance of getting the house, is just relentless in making sure that you find the house of your dreams in the Delaware beaches, perhaps Maryland. So if you would like to do that, if you are in position to do that, he is the only guy you can use. And as I've mentioned before, he can't sell you a house or sell your house in PA or Jersey or in New York, any other state, but he's got a giant network of realtors who can. So make him your first call and he can find the best one for you. 302-864-8643 is his direct cell. You can call or text him, 302-864-8643 or adam@processrealtor.com. Joining us now, the only guy to have written an entire chapter dedicated to the rights to Ricky Sanchez in a book. That is Yaron Weitzman. What's up, Yaron?
Hey, guys. I did not know about that Carolina Panthers. That's hilarious.
Yeah. They quit to spend more time with their families because the team was too bad. And then the team started winning and they threatened to come back. And James Stewart said, "Fuck no, you are not coming back." And they backed off. Yeah.
That is great.
Now, Yaron, before we get to your new book, Hollywood Story, Hollywood Ending, the LeBron and the Lakers book, which is a fun hate read for me, not because I hated the book, but because I despise LeBron and the Lakers, and this sort of scratched a big itch for me. Mike, I want to ask you if you can get this joke. I texted Yaron last night, and I'm like, hey, if you ever start a podcast. And maybe this doesn't work in text. I thought it was funny. It should be called You're on the Air or You're on the Record.
Sure.
That's a funny play on words, right? He didn't get it.
It is a play on words. I don't know if it's a funny play on words, but it is,
like,
it is one.
I'm saying this out loud. And my kids think I'm crazy. I keep saying like,
your own time. Your own time. How about your own time? All right.
Yeah.
The book is a fun read for sure. I have so many questions about the process of writing the book and about things in the book. How many people do you have to talk to write a book like this? Because so many of the people are not named in it. Yeah. And then how many people do you have to hear something from to be confident to write it as like, hey, this happened this way?
I want a number. How many people did you talk to?
I mean, I think the number, which I believe I counted, nearly 300 is the official number we're given. So I'll answer the second question first, right? I need to verify for most things 2 people. If something like one person tells me something, but there's like a screenshot, I don't know if example, then that's different, right? That's okay. Yeah. If it's like a texted this and there's a screenshot or whatever, that's different. But mostly, and there were things that I couldn't nail down that I wanted to. Like there was a whole Rich Paul World Wide West kind of origin story about like how Rich Paul came about and what their relationship is. And I ended up having to do a giant like X through 2,000 words because it just was all he said, and I just couldn't get there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything's multiple. So, and I mean, I kind of like envision it. Like I start out, it's almost like a circle and you start on the outer edge and you talk to one person, you get a little information that gets you closer and closer and you leverage that information and sort of keeps getting you closer to the source. And at some point you start hearing certain, the themes are repeated, or then if you listen to every bad player podcast like I did for this, right? Like most of them are useless, but sometimes a player will say something like on a random Danny Green podcast that no one else would care about, but it sort of backs up something that, somebody told you anonymously and it just checks out. So it's a bit of a subjective thing, but that's how I go about it.
Is there a different for yourself, a different like standard or qualification or something that you would be like, all right, this might be enough to report in an article, like in a column or something like that, versus like now it's in a book and
good question. I mean, I'm just more careful with the book. Like sometimes the articles have to come out faster. You just don't put the level of care. Like this happened with me with the LeBron, a dumb Bleacher Report thing I did like 2 months ago where I just wasn't careful with my language, which was my fault. In the book, it's more just I'm rereading it like 50 times. And, if editor's going over it and you care about it more. So it's not like I'm not making an active choice in that. But it's purely mine, right? That's kind of look at it. It's my name. It's purely me. When the Lakers threaten me, that's me. Like all these different things, right? So it's a different sort of level of care you give to it.
Did you talk to LeBron for the book?
I spoke to him for 15 seconds. Like said, I'm doing this book, and okay, cool. Tell Adam. Adam is his guy, Adam Mendelson, who I knew. And the way he doesn't do anything like this anymore. He doesn't do long form. I don't know if the last long form interview he's done. I can't even remember. He's got cameras following him around. It's like, it's going to be all Netflix and all that stuff.
Did you find doing the reporting this? So when you wrote the Tanking to the Top, the Sixers book, I got the sense that just from Derek and other people who had tried to write, Jake Fisher wrote something similar, not really the same thing. Mm-hmm. And I've said repeatedly, I didn't think your book was going to be very good because I didn't think you were going to be able to get people to say anything.
And because I asked you too many questions about your dad, right?
Well, that too. That really pissed me off too, but you didn't include any of it, so that was good. So, but did you find that people were more willing to talk about this than they were when you were doing the Sixers book?
It's different. So I knew when I started, the Lakers have had a big revolving door over the years, right? Which is that's helpful. So I always then feel like I have to add the caveat. Doesn't mean you take everyone's word for it, but just there's a lot of people who've been in and out there. We can talk. People have strong opinions about the Lakers and LeBron, really strong in a way that I kind of knew, but also surprised me. Both are true. So there was. I won't say it's easier. It was just different. A lot of former teammates on LeBron, a lot of different ways. There are a lot of different ways to go at this story where like the Sixers book, there were certain people like I had to get, and I did, whether I did or didn't, but like you had to get people from in the locker room, and you had to get people, you couldn't extend so far out. Right. Here it was different. I mean, I joke, like I kind of learned early on when I started this, I didn't have to spend so much time around the Lakers locker room because like, what am I going to talk to Christian Wood about LeBron? He doesn't have any actual opinions about LeBron. Like he's been there for Gabe Vincent, like these guys who are there now. I mean, you can get little stories, but that's not like where the gold's going to come from. The guys who are on these teams for the past 2 years. So it's just a different animal.
When new stuff about LeBron comes out, for example, like the connection to like Damon Jones and the gambling thing, the problem, I mean, that would, doing a book like you did with Tanking the Top and with this one, it's like it's not complete, right? The story is not fully told, and so, or like I guess fully. His
hitting a
career's
moving
not over.
target is how I describe it, right?
Exactly. It's a moving target. And so sometimes that target moves at the last second before you're about to publish, and then there's a big like gambling story that is sort of when the gambling story happened, what was your reaction?
Okay, so like Luka, I finished the book on Bronny. Like my original thing was the first game, LeBron and Bronny's first game. I went there. That was going to be like, I thought it was a nice moment. That kind of ends it, whatever. Then the Luka trade happened, and I forced our publisher to open that up and add that. The Lakers sale happened. I got a paragraph in there, nothing else. I felt pretty confident that I wasn't like I didn't think LeBron was anywhere near the gambler in terms of like I don't think he's on his phone right that. But I'll be a little mean. I did think back to, let's say there's a writer who did a book on the Astros a few years ago that was all about how they rebuilt, and then it turns out they were cheating, and there was nothing in that book. And I did text some friends being like, "Oh no, am I going to be whatever writer X now of the NBA Lakers book? That wouldn't be great." The gambling. I mean, it's funny because it goes back to the first question about like stuff I write and don't write. I didn't touch. Maverick Carter's had gambling stuff. I didn't touch that because I just felt I didn't hit a lot of Maverick Carter just from a space and narrative standpoint, and I just felt like that wasn't for me. HGH allegations I didn't put any of that in there because I didn't think to me to write that it's got to be either from the trainer or they don't do this anymore, but somebody actually see LeBron getting shot up in the ass, right? Like which is not how it happens anymore. But
it also seems like it's part of a different book.
Correct. And that wasn't, So if somebody had it, like, I delivered him, then I'm going to put it in there. But just like, even if I didn't put any of I think Jeff Teague's maybe talked to, I don't know, like even people who have alluded this where I could have gotten away with it, I just felt like it wasn't for me to put in here. So the gambling stuff was, I was worried for a second. The one that got me more was the Hennessy ad because I knew it wasn't going to be retirement. I knew, but like, you allow yourself to dream. Like 10% is like, wait, what if this would be great? That's the one that got me more.
Yeah, with the book thing, I always think of that. Did Tim McMahon write the book about Luka?
It's hard. It's hard to.
Unbelievable.
Another question about the process of book rather than the book. So the online world, the social media world, is something to behold. Sometimes when you take a look back and watch it all happen, and the book is coming out, and the book comes out. And I am standing back watching all of these great anecdotes from the book getting aggregated. And most of them are at least, there were some that I made fun of. There was one from Yahoo that like,
By the way, I owe you a thank you on that one because you were right on that. But yes, go ahead.
Well, they said like per the Ringer. And I was like, well, no. There was an excerpt of Yaron's book that was in the Ringer. It's not per the Ringer, whatever.
And that was the one thing I was threatening, that they accused me of defamation, but didn't put that like I say that's not true, right? They just said it was.
So anyway, all that to say, there's all this aggregation, which should be good for the book, but it seems like instead of it, and this is just from far away, instead of it creating interest in the book, it just becomes like its own thing. And I wonder if when you're watching all these great stories from the book getting aggregated, you're excited because there's like traction and movement under the stories that you've told, or you're a little frustrated because a lot of times social media stuff, even in terms of followers, like success on social media doesn't really equate to anything. So I was just wondering how you felt as you watched that.
You've hit like, this is like, I don't know, my existential crisis. I don't know, like you've hit. So you write, this is the way I've been thinking about it, right? You write a book because you want to go deep and nuance on a specific subject. And then it seems like the only way to sell that book is to strip all depth and nuance and sell it via pithy viral tweets, which I don't like. And then you kind of have to lean into. So instead of getting angry at NBA Central, I'm just like, hey, buy the book, dropping a link under there and hoping that works, right? But then the conversion rate, like if I told you the conversion rate on that, like even I can see how many people click on it. I don't think anyone. It's wild. I think we're sort of in a wild west where like we're all at the short form video algorithm seems to control everything, right? These short form video algorithms, and where a book and buying that fits in, I'm genuinely unsure. So to answer your question, like I don't love it, but then I'm also trying to embrace it, but I don't know if embracing it matters. I don't even know. It's like not a great answer, but you're right. Everything you're saying, you're right. I don't even know what to do with any of it at this point.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. How do you describe, like, how do you start to think about who the book is for? Like, because like you could do the book for someone who's like, hey, I'm an alien and I know nothing about LeBron James or basketball. Like, when do you start doing that? Do you describe like his strong but ballet like way of? I was like, are you doing that, or like do you think about? I would be like writing that and trying to describe LeBron's game and then be like, why am I doing this? I just fucking talk about the stories. Like, did you consider that like part of it?
I feel like it's two people, and we can talk because the Lakers fan part of this is interesting, but I feel like it's two people. It's the way kind of similar to the Sixers book, right? If you want to know like what actually happened here and what's the actual deal and how these things actually work, if you're an NBA fan or Lakers fan, this is for you. And then also, I've had people. I like when people say this. I'm not a sports fan, but I like the book because maybe there are people who didn't know the Bus story, right? The Bus family story, and you read that, it's like, oh wait, this is insane. It's like it's a cliche to say it's Succession, but that really is a sports version of Succession.
It's incredible. You read it and you're like, I can't believe this happened in real life. That's really actually what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like wild. Like again, it's like the cliche, but it like, and I'd even add one of the brothers ran for president, so it's literally Connor from Succession who it's like that didn't even make it. So it's kind of both those buckets, right? Like I think diehard NBA fans. I mean, I laugh because I obviously look at reviews and mentions because anyone who says they don't is an idiot is just lying. And people are like, I knew all this, and I'm like, really, you knew the story about Will Smith coming in and that getting Russell Westbrook and LeBron James upset? Like you knew that already? Come on, get out of here. So I feel like NBA nerds and Laker nerds, which Laker fans who want to know what actually happened, and then people who are just interested in sports. Or, I mean, I keep finding there are all these people out there, which is maybe not good for the NBA, but I hear from them who like say, I follow the NBA via podcast and not watching the games because I'm into the drama of it. Like that's a thing, which is interesting. So I kind of feel like people like that who just stories and drama and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So there's an anecdote from about LeBron when he's in LA, and I'll just read a quick thing here. He says, I think I would still be at this level no matter what, if I would have came here or not. Let's not get it twisted. Sort of in relation to him coming to LA or not coming to LA. He says to Anthony Davis, Jared Vanderbilt, it's more with me. Certain players, it's just basketball. With me, I come with everything. I change the whole shit. I win a championship in every city I've been in, every team I played for. We won a championship, every team. Give me 2 years. I'm a 2-year man. Second year in Miami, championship. Second year back home, championship. Second year with the Lakers, championship. Give me 2 years, I'll figure it out. My question to you is, how much of that is, I've always gotten the sense with LeBron that he is trying to convince people of something that he doesn't even necessarily believe so he can believe it. So how much of that bluster is do you believe, just in all of your reporting, is true and like he actually believes it, or how much of it is trying to convince people that to believe it so he can believe it?
No, I think it's true, but I think that I wrote that. I think the interesting part of it is like then but he's blinded to, especially in LA, like what happened after the title, right? And
right.
You won in year 2, but you've been there 6 more years.
Yes, right.
What kind of happened there? Like I think it's true, and I think it does hit this he has this nerve of his that he can strike that like he's been underpaid, which he has been. I mean, that's sure. Not arguing that. And that anecdote, like that was I was the last person in the locker room. I think it was in Miami, and all the beat writers went. I don't remember who was talking, whatever. And so LeBron's hanging out, getting dressed, and I'm just like there, and I'm not saying it. I'm not being sneaky, but like I have my press pass on, but I guess he didn't notice me, and they're just having this conversation. I'm just kind of like, okay, I'll kind of fade to the back and let my recorder go. And they're talking about how much he's worth, and I actually thought he went low. I think he said 4 years, 500 is what he would have signed if there was no salary cap. Which, to be honest, I would have thought he'd say $1 billion. Honestly, if you compare like some of these baseball contracts and what NBA guys are worth, and I think there's this sort of idea that since he went to Miami, right, they took the pay cut all of them to go to Miami, and then they won, and Miami then went cheap with luxury tax and things like that, and he's sort of been fighting back against that. His whole no pay cuts, only max salaries, which we're going to see play out now, which I think is going to be interesting. So I think that's 100%. I think he actually feels that way, and he's big on that. And the background there was that it was in Miami in the morning. All these reporters, Miami reporters, were there, and the Heat. That was maybe the Lakers' first time with that Heat culture nonsense in the free throw line. Mm-hmm. And so they're like all the reporters, they were asking about Heat culture, and it was really funny because at first he was like indulging, it's this, and then you could see sort of after question number 4, like a switch going on. I was like, wait a second, no, I'm me. Like, I don't owe Heat culture that much. Like it was right. Funny to see it in real time, and it was clear that this was, to me at least, it seemed like this was carrying on later on.
One of the, I don't know if I'm going to articulate this well, but hopefully I get close. One of the like strange parts of becoming an adult and thinking about and watching your time that you live in and seeing how people act within it is then considering and feeling like, oh, that this person's kind of being fake, or this person's kind of being like a poser, or whatever it is. It makes you think of like, well, what about stuff that happened before you were born, and how like this is the story that gets told, and you're starting to think like, was that so manipulated and concocted as well, and it wasn't really how people acted. I guess what I'm trying to say is, with LeBron, he's always been so aware of the narrative to where he's like not really just existing as a person. He's like watching himself exist as a person and trying to, and it's not obviously not only LeBron does this, everybody does this to some extent in the world that we're in right now with, you know, social media and everything. But like him playing with his son is such a like, and that's how it's going to be in script. And he's like, it's him like with like a quill as he's like, and I'm writing the final story of myself. And then the Lakers go and trade for Luka, and Bronny's probably going to be a fringe NBA player for his career. What I guess the question is like, how do you think it's going to end? And is there like a satisfying ending to be had?
So the answer, I think he's genuinely confused and unsure what he wants right now. That's sort of my read on it, on like, you know, as an educated read, right? Like, I don't think my understanding is he loves Luka, and I think he understands. Like, I think Luka's one of these guys that like, you know, players love, like, and respect just how great he is. And they have sort of a similar game, right? Not defense, but in terms of the chess master stuff and, you know, all that. I think they push back on this, but like the idea, he's on an expiring contract for the first time in his career, right? The idea that he's okay with that, like that they didn't want an extension, it's sort of like, you can't quit, you can't fire me, I quit thing, where like he says they don't want an extension, but the Lakers, they didn't offer him an extension. That bothers him, no matter what he says. I find that hard to believe.
I mean, he's just very clearly not the most important player on his team for the first time in his life.
Correct. Yeah. He's not right. He's not in control of his narrative for the first time. I don't know, since he was 17, right? Like, it's just so. Well,
and the question further too would be: is there a team like there? A lot of the teams he would think maybe, you know, people bring up the Knicks or the Cavs or whatever. They also say to themselves like, I don't know. Do we want him? Do we not want him?
That's why, to me, the money thing so far, because the way I kind of describe it is he has like all these boxes he wants to check, and I think he feels kind of boxed in because he can't check them all, right? You can't. Right. There's no place where you can go. We all assume, everyone, me, you guys, people in the NBA assume there's going to be a farewell tour, right? Which makes me think we're going to get another year, because the fact that it wasn't announced makes me think we're going to get another one. I don't think we're going to get a farewell tour for like the Oklahoma City Thunder, even like the Dallas Mavericks, right? That just seems weird. It sort of feels like Lakers and Cavs are it. I know people bring up the Knicks. I don't see it. But the money thing, like, so if he's willing to take a mid-level or whatever, the Cavs, I think, would welcome that. They'd be great. Cool. That's awesome. We'll do that. Sure. If he's not willing to...
Do you want to go be Jeff Green, LeBron?
Right. Well, that's the other part, right? He doesn't. And the thing is, like, I mean, I'm curious to see how he plays this year. I have to catch myself a lot because we talk about like Luka and the team. He wasn't the most important player. He was still a top 25 guy last year, right? It's not like we haven't hit the... and I don't think he's going to get there, the Jeff Green or even the Dirk in his final year, 12 minutes a game, running, you know, shooting jumpers and passing from the elbow type stuff, right?
Yes. He's still unbelievable.
It's wild.
Which is unbelievable.
It's wild, right? So that's the part. But I don't think anyone's going to give him like the max salary, and I think he probably wants it. And I would bet. I mean, he is probably, again, I don't know. I haven't spoken about this, but I would assume that there is some anger, frustration, and he's a bit offended that the Lakers are seemingly like now they're in control, right? That they didn't offer him this contract that he clearly wanted, no matter what he says. There's no way someone has yet to be explained to me how being on an expiring deal is better than being on a plus one player option. Like, there's no, I mean, if someone can explain that to me, God bless, but I don't see how that's possible. And so I think that's the parts that bother him.
Well, and the question about him is not that he's like, nobody would argue he's not still a great basketball player. The question is like, is he willing you get to this point with some players, whether they're his age or not, is like, well, what is our ceiling if he's playing the way that he wants to play?
Yep.
So the question is not, is LeBron great? The question is LeBron willing to not be the primary option and not the decision maker? Like, money aside, everything else, are you willing to take a step back there? Which is the hardest thing about this Luka thing. Must be fucking killing him.
And I mean, Austin Reeves too, right? Like, this reintegration is going to be really interesting now. It's going to be, I think it's going to tell us a lot because the team's good. They have two, you can, whatever you say, what else? They have two really good lead ball handlers, right? Like LeBron, like he's going to join a good team with two guys who run that. Like, I'm really curious to see what this looks like. I think that's going to kind of tell us a lot.
Well, if there's anyone with the deft emotion and human understanding to handle that situation, it's got to be JJ Redick.
Oh yeah,
it has to be.
This is what we're here for.
Has to be the light hand of a master.
Did you hear he didn't even sleep the night before the Lakers Nuggets game, and he was so mad. I love in the press conference he's
sending little horny prompts to AI and seeing what's up there.
Well, he holds the mic in the press conference like he's a stand-up comedian or a rock
singer.
Still
a podcaster, man. He's still a podcaster.
Jesus. Spike, you did always hate him. You did always.
Yes.
You were always anti-JJ.
Spike was in on. Spike was in on this. You're saying he had the right read on the stock. Is what you're saying.
I did. You're not right about everything. Right about some things.
Did you? This could be to talk about LeBron as well, but I was wondering if you read the off-season piece on Embiid for ESPN that Dotun Akintoye wrote.
Of course, are you kidding me? That was like I couldn't. I had to read that. Of course.
What did you think about that? I know it's been a while.
My TLDR version is that, like, I find Embiid fascinating as a person. I find the story fascinating, and it was one of the times where I was like, and if I was a GM, I'd be like, oh, this is why he's not a franchise guy, and these are some of the things we're seeing. And to me, he was talking like he was like, it was almost past tense, like it was done. That and a lot, again, I'm maybe critical. Like, he could have mentioned the idea of weight gain wasn't. I don't think the word weight or pounds were mentioned once in the story. Like, that's a big part of his stuff. And I think also, again, being a little critical, we keep making Brian Colangelo. Elton Brand's been there in a role for about 7-8 years now. Like, that's the Brian Colangelo stuff's a long time ago. I understand there's scars from that, but my understanding is Embiid and Elton Brand, like, they get along. Elton Brand's a guy you can trust, all that stuff. I think it was a lot. It was telling. I mean, I find Embiid fascinating. He's incredibly fascinating, but it was telling to me.
I think your assessment, every superstar has some thing, right? Some quirk, some personality thing. And sometimes it works to be like, oh, they need to be, protected from themselves because they will run themselves into the ground, blah, blah, blah. And some are like, okay, I'm going to, be an asshole teammate, or I'm not going to be a part of it, whatever. Embiid obviously has his, LeBron has his. And it boils down to, are you good enough for that to be worth it?
Yep, right.
And for LeBron's entire career, the answer was yes. And right now, the answer is probably no. And so it's having to all of a sudden go from being, I'm number one, I can do whatever, and then all of a sudden you're like playing in somebody else's house, and you're like, do I have to take my shoes off? Like, it's a little bit of that. And I think that's a unique situation for someone who's been this person for 25 years to be in.
No, I agree. Again, that's what I'm repeating. Like, this whatever he looks like when he comes back now is going to be so fascinating. And we're talking about the on the court stuff. It's also the off court. Like, nobody
for sure
is he going to hold? Are we going to get a passive aggressive tweet? Are we going to get like a weird press conference? Or I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And I think that's going to be sort of telling.
The stuff about Pelinka is amazing. I just think, like, it's so amazing that LeBron and this other liar were able to find themselves. The Heath Ledger Kobe story, was this written before somewhere?
Yeah, that's Baxter Holmes. That's published by Baxter Holmes back then, and like that's I don't know if I was able to top that. That's pretty good. Like, I got to give Baxter the credit on that. I think Rob Pelinka, like, he is one of my favorite NBA characters. Like, I'm completely fascinated by him. I could write about Rob Pelinka all day because I'm with him. I think he's incredible.
He is, and I remember him being like on the bench on the Michigan team when I was young. Was he on the Fab Five team? Yeah. Yes.
Sort of got like this I call it this like Forrest Gumpian, which again another cliche, but like NBA like with the Fab Five teams with Kobe, the Lakers, LeBron, now Luka. He's always around. He's in Colorado with the sexual assault trial. He's like behind Kobe, walking behind him. He's just around always, and he's incredibly fascinating. I don't know.
There's a chapter I always think about this time in when I'm arguing against LeBron people is the year when he got to LA. There's a chapter in there called "LeBron's Going to Trade You," which like there's a moment. There's two things that stuck out to me about the chapter. One, and Brandon Ingram says later that he understands why he didn't do it when there was a fight and LeBron just stands away from the fight rather than getting involved.
And he goes, it was between Rajon Rondo and Chris Paul. Rondo's a Lakers. Not just he stands away, he goes to Chris Paul, right? He goes to Chris Paul's side, as opposed to his teammate's side. Yeah. Yep.
And there's that. And then there's the moment where he publicly basically says that he would want Anthony Davis on the team, which basically tanks the season because everybody on the team that may have suspected that they were trade material now knows it. I guess I don't have a question as much as I think about the times where Brian Windhorst has talked about how exhausting it can be to have LeBron as part of your franchise, even with how good he is. And I think about the chaos of that year that they went through really just for and it's it's still a championship. It's a fraudulent championship, but a championship nonetheless. But like this year just seems so fucking crazy to me. And those two incidents I thought really highlighted how crazy that year must have been.
The phrase I've kind of landed on is he's like a bit of a front runner. So when he feels like the team has a legit shot in his view and he's happy, then he can be a great leader. Like the next year stories, even before the bubble, right? In the bubble, people have heard that sort of this, a phrase used. I think a Clippers person told me this, that like it's not a surprise to people that the two teams that succeed in the bubble were the Jimmy Butler and LeBron led teams, right? This ability just to kind of drill down and just focus on the task at hand. But even before that, he's running players only camps and he's sending group chats and group texts in the group chats and memes and all that. Like he's a great leader, all that stuff. But if he doesn't feel like the team has a legit shot, and that year is a great example, he's out. And the part about that year that's sort of I don't know, rough, like or telling is that he joined the Lakers and he knew what he was joining, and he was in that summer. He's very much like patience, rebuild, all good, all good. And it was very clear early on. I mean, I have a story there. He skipped their first team event to watch an Ohio State football game, right? As opposed to going to like this casino event that everyone goes to. So it's very clear that he was not in on the group on the young guys. Now, again, he might have been right about Luke Walton in hindsight. Like that might have aged like Spike's JJ take a little bit, right? That might have been a decent one. Mm-hmm. But he tanked the season, right? Because he didn't feel like the team was up to par. And the part that's hard to explain away if you're him is that you joined this team. So that's kind of, it's hard to reconcile those two things.
How are you going to come in here wearing a Mets sweatshirt?
I realized that actually this is my Sunday.
You can hide it in your positioning, but I noticed that, and it did put me in a bad mood right away.
Yeah. I can't do Jets anymore because that's I got to do my Sunday outfit.
Do you root for the Sixers?
Do I root? No, but I don't root for the Sixers. But I will tell you this: I think I've texted Spike about this. I have a real soft spot for the Sixers still, and especially Sixers fans. Who I shouldn't say I just want to promote, but I don't care anymore. Like I enjoy them so much more than Lakers fans, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on this podcast. Like Lakers fans are really weird. I have found a lot of the response. Maybe what I've kind of landed on is I guess things always work out, so you don't need to like care why things might not be going well. It's a very different atmosphere. So I don't root for the Sixers, but I do. The Sixers have a special place in my heart for sure.
The book is Hollywood Ending about LeBron James and the Lakers years. It is a good book. It is for all my like iffy readers out there, and I would say like I read probably 2 or 3 books a year because I just can't concentrate when I'm sitting there. But this one is one of the ones where once you get into it and you get the groove of it after the first 15 pages, you're just sort of in and sailing through it. It is a fun read and really great insight and so many good stories. And I think you did a great job with it. So I would recommend it to anyone who likes. If you like basketball or if you fucking like the Lakers or you hate LeBron, this is just is a perfect book for you.
Thank you, Spike. Yeah, I say if you're listening to this and you like the last book, you'll like this one, even if you're not a Sixers fan. I think that's fair to say.
No chapters about us, though. I noticed.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
No chat. Well, there's no chapters about any media, but I guess it's different. No, I joke. Yeah, go ahead.
Nothing about LeBron producing a Ben Simmons show written by a Sixers podcaster.
How's Spring Hill doing now? Do we know how Spring Hill's doing now?
They're doing their thing. They're good execs over there.
Didn't I? Yeah. They Lakers media very different than Philly media. I've joked that I don't think a single Lakers beat writer has acknowledged the existence of this book, which is pretty
cool. Really?
Oh yeah, it's good.
Oh, damn. Well, because you got shit they didn't. Their state me. Yeah, I've said this before. Dave McMenamin seems like a really nice guy. He's always been really nice to me. But when I see Lakers reporters reporting stuff, I'm just like, you guys are fucking. It's unbelievable. It's like state media.
I'll tell you. So this is a good example, and if you need me to go, that's fine. So the Lakers get really frustrated about some of the things I put in. One of them is that they can be sort of cheap in how they run things. Okay, I'm not the first person to say this.
No.
The day, so they're very sensitive about this. The day after the sale was announced, ESPN runs a big story about things that could change under the new ownership, and one of them is full of anecdotes of the Lakers being cheap. And I'm like, oh, now you guys can run this. What is this? This is nonsense. What is this nonsense? So that's a good example.
Yeah. Well, you did a great job on it, and I appreciate you coming on, and look forward to your next fucking. Have you thought about another book?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right.
Congrats, man. That's very exciting. 2 books. Serious shit.
Yeah, it seems hard. I don't know how you do it, man.
Me neither. I don't know if it's a good idea, but whatever. We're pounding away.
All right. Go out and buy it. Great book. Is there an audio version for our audio heads?
There is. I did not. Last time I read it, this one I did not. I apologize to the people who do that.
All right. Thank you, dude.
Thanks, buddy.
As always.
See ya. Thanks.
Yaron Weitzman and the book Hollywood Ending about LeBron. Again, a pretty easy read, which is important to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
6-3.
6-3. How could you not be thrilled? How could you not be thrilled with what's going on right now?
Gotta feel pretty good about 6-3.
Yep.
Did you notice that I almost brought this up when we were making your own weight, but do you see Brandon Ingram spike a water bottle and hit the equipment guy in the face?
Yeah. I think he hurt himself before he went out of the game. I think
but then he came right back in. That guy was just cleaning up stuff. And he just chucked it. Fucking that guy got clipped. I hope that guy's okay. I hope Ingram apologized or the Raptors gave him something.
Yeah, it made the rounds for sure.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
that's
they're a weird team, the Raptors.
I like a lot of their players.
I knew you were just still
they still need. Well, I don't like. I think RJ Barrett and Brandon Ingram have gotten better, but there's certainly no reason for them both to be on the team.
No.
It's very weird that they're both there. I have no idea what they're doing, but I love Colin Murray Boyles. I'm very excited how good he is right away. He was in a trade down scenario. He was the guy I wanted because I thought that he would have been the perfect fit with these guys around here. But I mean, he certainly doesn't have the star potential that VJ has. Not even close.
And a quick shout to a Ricky listener who this guy Marco wrote that he was having trouble finding an app where he could track all the rookies' stats in one place. So he just made one.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called Rookie Radar, and he has sworn it doesn't take your data. That there's definitely no advertising in it. And it's a pretty simple app, but it's pretty cool. It's in the App Store. I don't know if it's in for Android. It's probably not. It usually costs a lot of money to make an Android app as well. But it's pretty cool. What it does is you can go and you can sort by any of the major categories for all the rookies, but then it comes up with a score based on those, and it ranks the rookies and gives an explanation as to why they are ranked where they are. Currently, VJ is 1. I think maybe Knipple is 3. Who's 2? Who would be 2? I forget. I just looked. But it's a pretty cool app. And nice. Our Ricky listener, Marco, created it. And we put it on social, but I just wanted to mention that I thought it was... Cedric Coward, too.
Yeah.
What a start for him.
He's a fun player.
Yeah.
He's kind of the mystery box player. And usually the mystery box players don't perform and then become like a factoid in 20 years. Be like, who the fuck is that? But, I mean...
Good right away.
Unbelievable.
The best interviews I saw of any draft pick was Cedric Coward. Listening to him talk, you're like, that guy's gonna
very,
be good.
Very nice. On NBC tomorrow.
Yes.
Monday, November 10th.
Yeah.
The paper makes its broadcast debut.
Is that a regular or is it like a test out thing?
The whole season dropped on Peacock.
Yeah.
Of season 1 of the paper, which is the Office spinoff that I write for. And so starting tomorrow, they are also airing all the episodes in shorter, more like network-sized cuts for the whole season. So starting it's Mondays at 8:30. We come on after St. Denis Medical. So if you don't have Peacock and you didn't watch the show, you can now watch it on NBC at 8:30 on Monday.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Congrats.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy.
All right. We will talk to you Tuesday night after Sixers Celtics. Is that fucking the NBA Cup play again?
I don't know. We got Celtics twice for Cup.
Yeah. I don't know.
We're going to lose every Cup game.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
it'd be very nice if they win this Pistons game. People listening may already know that they didn't, but I would really like if they did.
Yeah. Probably not, though.
Probably not, though. But 6 and 4? I'm already excited. I'm fine with 6 and 4.
Come on, everything's great. This whole season is fucking house money. We will talk to you Tuesday night. Are you down with TTP?
Yeah, like face.